It is Y105, number one for all the hits. I'm Steve Pulaski. Very special guest on my phone line today. He has made a plethora of great movies, whether we're talking Cabin Fever, whether we're talking Hostel, or his latest Thanksgiving, which is on digital and on DVD and Blu-ray right now. It is a must-see. It's a new holiday favorite of mine as well. He is Mr. Eli Roth. Eli, how are we this morning?
I'm doing great. Very happy. It's pretty wild. We got the movie out on DVD and Blu-ray. It's on digital, and they just re-released it in 500 theaters for late shows, which is surreal. So today is what we call a good day. I'm very happy.
Congratulations with all your success with Thanksgiving and even all your other movies, too. To start with Thanksgiving, though, people have kind of known, too, this was a fake trailer used in the Grindhouse movie back in 2007. A lot of us, myself included, have eagerly awaited that feature film adaptation of Thanksgiving. What made you stick with this project for so many years and just be completely diligent in wanting to see the vision through?
Oh, well, bullying and shaming by the fans really works way better than you think it does. Like after, Jeff Rendell is my best friend. We grew up, our life's mission was to make the Thanksgiving movie. That was all we wanted. Every year we thought there was going to be a Thanksgiving movie, and it drove us crazy that there wasn't because we were in Massachusetts. And then when Tarantino and Rodriguez asked if I wanted to do the fake trailer, I was like, oh, I got it. It's Thanksgiving. I had the whole thing, I had the kills figured out. And after we did the trailer, we were like, we're done. It was just satisfying. Why bother with plot and character and all that nonsense? I just want to see the kills. We did them. And then over the years, the fans were like, you got to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it. And I was thinking okay, if we did this for real, what would it be? And so we started thinking of ideas. And then we started seeing those kind of Black Friday viral videos. And I was like, oh, that's it. That's the impetus. That gives us, not just because it's a great inciting incident where you can kill a bunch of people and have a bunch of suspects and then go back a certain, a period of time later and everyone connected to it is now getting picked off. That's a classic slasher setup. But it gives us a real theme, which is that we're all, the idea of greed and what does it mean to be thankful, and that we sit there at Thanksgiving and they were all so thankful, but then 2 hours later trample each other for waffle irons and flat screen TVs. So that to me is where you can get really interesting horror, is where there's actually something thematic underneath it, but it doesn't sacrifice the scares and the kills. So it was once we saw that, we kind of cracked the code and we started crafting the movie around that.
I'm really glad you brought up that opening scene, too, with the Black Friday shopping, because it's such an excellent scene. I think it's probably one of my favorite set pieces in any of your movies. How was that to shoot? What was sort of the logistical process of that? Shooting that had to be madness.
It was wild, and we did it in 4 nights. And, I think, I've been directing for 20 years now, and I think I needed all those years of experience to pull that off in a low-budget way, but have it be a giant opening. You get 600 extras, 20 stunt people, and you all need to work together. You need everybody, looking around. And look, luckily we were in Toronto where people are very polite, and they're like, sorry. So, they weren't like if it was Massachusetts, we got one take and everyone would be dead or at the hospital. But, it was great. Look, I planned it with my stunt coordinator, Dan Skeen. I had a second unit director who could help me. That one I used normally I use one camera, but for that scene, for the chaos, I had a couple cameras. And, okay, you're going to get this, you're going to get that. But for me, it was just about making sure that we can follow the characters. Because whenever I'm in a chaos scene, and it's just so much stuff happening, I tune out. I like it when you keep it intimate and you're following each one of our characters and seeing what their little journey is in the middle of this, insane, things spiral out of control. I wanted it to feel like Titanic with the water filling up. And, it seems fun, and then everybody starts to panic. But, we just really planned it out with our special makeup effects. And that one we used storyboards and frame forge and just planning, assuming everything's going to go wrong. And luckily, everyone was great and it came together, but it was 2 nights outside and 2 nights inside. And when everyone is that laser focused, you go for it. It's a faith-based system. You just hope to God it works out, and we got lucky.
It absolutely worked out. He's filmmaker Eli Roth. Thanksgiving now available on DVD, Blu-ray, and digital. Also in about 500 theaters this weekend as well. Highly recommend catching that on the big screen. I'll ask you this too, Eli. I saw Cabin Fever at way too young of an age. Definitely left an imprint on me as a horror fan. I have to ask you though. I know he's not really acting anymore. He's really faded from the public eye. But I've always wanted to know from your perspective, what was it like working with Giuseppe Andrews? He's one of my favorite indie actors.
Giuseppe's the best. I've talked to him every now and then. The thing that's great about Giuseppe is truly in his own. He's in his own planet, like when he comes in, it's like he's visiting Earth and just kind of comes into your set and does his thing, and then he goes up. He was living in a trailer park in Ventura when we made Cabin Fever, and he would shoot these movies on mini DV with all the trailer people, like the people that live there, like in a when you think of like a trailer park, this was like a real low-income trailer park, like living with addicts or these people that were just, this was this whole world. And I actually got Troma to distribute his movies. He'd make these kind of Harmony Korine style, very interesting poetic movies, never mocking them. Like, he loved these people. So, and Giuseppe was just shoot them and edit them in the trailer park with them. So I talk to Giuseppe every now and then, but he's a guy who's like, this is a guy who's like no cell phone, goes off the grid, will come out with a movie every once in a while. So every now and then he resurfaces, but I agree with you. I think Giuseppe's a gem. He's a genius. I love him. I just haven't heard from him in a while.
There's far few people like him on this planet. Eli, I got you for a short amount of time, but I want to ask you one more thing. It had to be real elation to see Thanksgiving come to theaters, too, just after all the work that went into it, all the time that passed between Grindhouse and Thanksgiving. I have to ask you, what's next? What kind of projects are you working on? Kind of just give you the floor right now to talk about some stuff that's in the pipeline for Mr. Eli Roth.
Yeah, sure. I mean, look, I did this kids animated series called Fright Crew that's on Hulu and Peacock. Really fantastic with DreamWorks Animation. It's so good. It's like if you want to do kind of a new Scooby-Doo, like if you want your kids to get into horror, Fright Crew is on. Season 1's on. Season 2 is going to come out in March. And then I'm just writing, I'm writing Thanksgiving too. Like, I'm so thankful to the fans that they came out and gave a new franchise a shot. It's very, very hard to make something new and get it out there, and it requires a leap of faith on the public that, okay, we're going to go out, we're going to spend the money and, go out to see it in the theater, and, I want to give people the best night of their life, a night at the movies they'll never forget. So I try to do that every time. I'm very respectful of people's time and their money. I want to make sure they get their money's worth, and luckily it did well enough we get to do another one, so I'm working on that right now. I want to make it better than the first, so just writing and thinking of ideas.
Me and my girlfriend saw it opening weekend and highly recommend people check it out, whether it's in theaters or at home. Thanksgiving on DVD, Blu-ray, and on digital, and as mentioned, in a couple hundred theaters nationwide this weekend as well. He is Eli Roth. Eli, I greatly appreciate your time, and I anxiously await what's next. Thank you.